Before we begin, I would like to send out a warning message now that this countdown contains serious spoilers. Films, as a whole, have the general purpose of delivering us, the audience, a message. The animated movies listed in this countdown truly capture the feelings of despair, loneliness, and tragedy. These works of art will truly change some of your perspectives in life. These are the 6 most traumatizing animated films. Number 6. The sixth spot in this list is occupied by Walls with Bashir. We follow the main protagonist, Ari Folman, in a journey to recover his memory of the events that took place in the year 1982 and his involvement with 2 massacres during the Lebanon War. Folman tracks down one by one the men that he served with, and little by little the memories of what happened to him and the people at the refugee camps start to unfold. The most depressing part of this film is the actual footage of the aftermath of these massacres. However, the rest of the film is no walk in the park. An absolutely great movie. Number 5. I am sure that more than just a few of you have heard of Animal Farm. It is the story of a group of animals who one day decide to revolt against the humans, and after being successful in driving their owners out of the farm, they attempt to create a utopian society. Soon, however, one of the leaders in the group starts getting a desire for more power, ultimately creating a totalitarian and corrupt society with brutal outcomes. We are left to deal with power struggles, oppression, and death in a wonderful mixture of darkness and light. Number 4. Watership Down narrates the story of a warren of rabbits who seek to establish and protect a new colony from tyranny and human intervention. This is a film that I wouldn't recommend to the very young. It is very dark from beginning to end and very cruel. It touches the viewers so much that it leaves us desperately wanting to aid some of these helpless characters, but we can do absolutely nothing about it. And on top of that, we become witnesses to their violent misfortunes. This movie hits us like a bucket of iced water, perhaps teaching us to better understand the reality of life and the appreciation of the world around us. Watching it is truly a unique experience. Number 3. Based on a Raymond Briggs book, When the Wind Blows tells us the story of an old British couple, Jim and Hilda. They live in the countryside and have always believed that the government knows what they're doing. However, the world is quickly heading into World War III between the US and the Soviets. Jim prepares for it by building a shelter using government pamphlets. However, both of them believe that the war will be fought just like World War II, and they can't fully understand that this war will be fought with nuclear weapons. All too soon, war breaks out, and Jim and Hilda survive a nuclear explosion. They stand back and wait for help, but minutes turn to hours, and hours turn to days. Still standing strong in their belief of the government, they wait for help and for things to get back to normal, but little do they know that help is not on the way. Jim and Hilda start to experience radiation sickness, and us, the viewers, get to witness the last days of an old couple that is truly in love. The story concludes with their tragic death. It is truly a devastating film. Number 2. It was obvious you would eventually get here. The Grave of the Fireflies is a true masterpiece. It brings together beauty and tragedy in an amazing story. It takes place in World War II, Japan. We follow the tale of 2 orphans who have lost their mother in an aerial attack. These 2 orphans, a brother and sister, absolutely love each other, and we are latched onto their story. But perhaps what makes this story the most emotionally draining is that from the beginning, we already know the tragic end. The most memorable point in this film comes near the end. The youngest of the 2, the sister, is struggling with malnutrition. Her brother leaves their hideout to desperately look for food, but by the time he gets back, he finds his sister's unresponsive body. It is an absolutely beautiful yet tragic love story. Seeing this movie really changes your attitude towards war, about who really suffers, and that the honor and glory of nations are truly the least important when the dust settles and we contemplate the lives of those who have been lost. Number 1. This is by far one of the most heart-wrenching stories ever told as an animated film, because many war movies can be made, but there can only be one: The Plagued Dogs. We follow the story of two dogs who meet in an experimental laboratory where they're abused daily, but after planning, they manage to escape and become best friends. We follow them in their journey and all of their tragic events as they're desperately being sought after by the humans, now that these believe the dogs are carrying a serious virus. One of the dogs has the fantasy of reaching an island where he will find true happiness and die of old age. Following their terrible journey, they meet a wild fox who sacrifices his life for them, but our two friends are ultimately surrounded by the humans. The dogs desperately jump into the ocean and swim away. As we notice the dogs swimming in the middle of the ocean and getting progressively tired, one of them starts to hallucinate with an island. His friend, who is very tired, doesn't see the island, but wanting his friend to die happily, just plays along and tells him that he also sees it. Then, the movie ends, implicating that both dogs drown to their death.